Hello, and welcome to the Bluegrass Sports Show. Or
The BS Show, a show where we're two fat guys who aren't allowed to talk about Jimmy Butler.
oh Lord, do you want to go into detail? Tell them what happened. Tell them what happened.
He's Carl and
Tell
I'm
him the
Perry. I'm
first
the
one.
animal.
Tell them the first video, then the second one. Go ahead.
We just had a lot of bloopers. I'm not getting into detail because I'm kind of mad about it. I'm mad that I no longer can play PlayStation because I'm used to Xbox controllers.
No talking about Jimmy Butler either.
I can't overemphasize how important it is to remember that the X button on PlayStation and the X button on Xbox are not the same spot. And if you go to throw a pass to X,
oh Lord,
it's actually square. I just threw a pick six.
oh Lord, and the corner standing right in front of the receiver. It was awful.
All right, he can't talk because he's holding a baby. What we're going to do today?
I can talk. What does that mean? Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to give you our picks for the top 5 Kentucky players that should not have went to the draft when they did. So,
yep.
Do you want to do 5, 5, 4? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Well, go ahead.
I'll let you start.
Well, 5 is controversial.
Okay.
Okay, and I know it's controversial.
Okay.
And my number 5 is James Young.
Okay. Why so?
Because in the NBA, he's not done jack squat. He wasn't ready to go to the NBA. But here's why it's controversial. Okay, is the very next year, you've got the Harrison twins and Booker, and there's not a whole lot of room for him to play. So it's hard for him to come back, but he was not ready to play in the NBA.
Okay, I can understand that. My number 5 is Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Trey Lyles has actually cut out a path in the NBA playing for Denver now, where he's playing well. He's in a spot that works for him. But it wasn't always the case because he was in Utah. He was drowning in a sea, not of sorrow, to my Alice in Chains guys out there. I see you, Jason Miracle. He was drowning in a sea of big men. Okay, there's just big men everywhere. It's just like you're a little bitty Little Caesar's cheese stick, and you're going into a land full of Pizza Hut cheese sticks. They're just big cheese sticks everywhere. Okay. Trey Lyles, in my opinion,
that's awful.
could have come back for his sophomore year. Probably would have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Because he would have been a stretch forward playing on the Euless Murray team.
Right.
So, and he'd have been a perfect player to put beside Marcus Lee that year. Especially with how poor of it Scal turned out to be that year for that team. He just wasn't ready. Scal's a good player. He just wasn't ready for the college game.
That's one guy that's not on my list that should be.
No, I don't think so. I think Scal would have.
Well, in a sense.
Scal wouldn't have fit with the next year's team.
No, he wouldn't have.
But
he didn't fit.
A guy that would have fit. I could go with a guy that could have fit on that year's team, but he didn't leave Kentucky to go to the NBA. He left Kentucky to go to Cal.
Wiltshire?
No, Marcus Lee.
Oh, yeah.
He'd have been a great rim protector to play beside Bam.
Right.
And put Bam playing at the 4.
Yeah.
So my number 5, I'm going Trey Lyles because.
Wiltshire didn't play those years.
I know. But Trey Lyles,
I could definitely
he would have greatly benefited the next year. He would have had more minutes. He was a really good post scorer. He's a great mid-range scorer.
He's a good ball player.
Could have developed his defense a little bit better. Could have developed that outside shot. Okay. Now, my number 4.
Now, Trey Lyles, the only reason I didn't include him, because just like you said, I agree with it totally. Terrible fit with the Jazz, but he's done well since then, and that's the only reason I didn't include him. But go ahead.
My number 4 is Dakari Johnson.
Ooh, very nice.
Same exact reason. Same exact reason. Dakari Johnson is a guy that got drafted in the 2nd round. If he would have come back for his junior season, he would have played the 5 alongside with Marcus Lee playing a defensive 4 beside him. That team struggled rebounding that year.
Yep.
Struggled rebounding the
big
basketball.
7-foot Johnson would help.
Well, and also you probably would have had Marcus Lee coming off the bench for post-death and just an energy guy because you'd had Alex Porthos playing the 4 on that team. So, and even you could have went big. You could have brought Briscoe off the bench on that team and played Porthos at the 3 with Marcus Lee. So, Dakari Johnson,
some shooting away though.
As weak as what that draft was that year, the 2016 draft. Overall, especially a big man, I think Dakari Johnson could have played himself into a top first round, top 30, top 25 pick had he come back for his junior year. That's why I go with Dakari Johnson at my number 4.
Okay, so at my number 4, I'm going Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
And my reasoning for that, even though he's had a very solid NBA career, right? But if he goes the next season and plays alongside Brandon Knight, and you play Brandon Knight at the 2, just like Bledsoe did with Wall, really, run them just like that, and Brandon Knight's better shooter. You've got more shooting than that first team.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like that team. No.
I like Bledsoe coming back and playing with Knight.
I don't like that team with Bledsoe coming back and playing with Knight because I like Knight being a pick and pop point guard, being an isolation scorer point guard, because you had to run Lamb on the wing playing the 2, who percentage wise might be the best 3-point shooter. I have to check that stat. I think if not, he's in the top 5 best percentage 3-point shooter in the program's history.
Right.
What you're missing there is if you add another guard into that rotation, you're limiting minutes that you're able to give DeAndre Liggins, who ended up being the most important player.
That's true.
Arguably on that team because of his defense.
That's true. I didn't think like that.
That's the biggest reason why I would hesitate on that, but I like your thought.
But what got me thinking about that was I think Bledsoe would have been a much higher pick if he had stayed that next year.
Who's your number 3?
My number 3. I don't remember. I gotta go to the phone. I know who it is. It's Marcus Teague.
Okay.
Teague, because he's had a crap career. I was about to say another word. He's had a crap career, and he's another one that I think would have fit fantastic with next year's team.
I'll come back to Marcus Teague in a moment.
Okay.
My number 3 is kind of a little bit of a curveball.
Who's that?
Randolph Morris.
Oh, man. I thought about it big time.
And it's not whenever he actually went to the NBA. It's when he declared and then come back.
Yes.
But he wasn't declared eligible to return until almost half the season was gone, or a little over half the season. Once he finally returned, whenever his fax was found, whenever his fax was found, he came back. It completely killed the chemistry of the team.
Right.
That basketball team was playing well, and he destroyed it.
Now, what aggravates me about Morris is, to me, I think Morris should have been so much better of a player, NBA, college, but he only tried about half the time he was on the floor. And that's what killed me.
You know, in high school ratings, he was the number 1 ranked center over Dwight Howard.
Really?
Who went number 1 in that NBA draft.
Right. And
Look what you could have done, Randolph. You could have been, before number 1, you could have been 0.5, the overall 0.5 pick.
But Morris was tough when he tried. And I think if he comes back...
I like Randolph Morris's game, and he's had a long, successful career overseas.
Right.
He never really did anything in the league, but he's been a great overseas player.
But he also went to the Knicks. No, I like Morris, and I really thought about moving him into that number 5 spot.
All right. Now, my number 2, this is where I want to come back to Marcus Teague.
Right. I figured.
Marcus Teague, to me, he was a very good point guard. He's such an underrated player for what he was on that team. Mm-hmm. He was a bulldog defensively.
He was good.
He was great in the title game. Great in the Final Four tournament. He started out slow on the season, but as the season went on, he was an excellent game manager. He got to where he could hit down. He could knock down just the step up threes like they were nothing. He was a great finisher around the rim. But more importantly to me, Marcus Teague's decision to go to the league when he did completely derailed what could have been the next season. Now, well, I won't say completely, but it helped derail that season. What completely derailed it was Nerlens getting hurt.
Going down. Yep.
Okay, but what happened is that it thrust Ryan Harrow into a spot that he was never mentally capable of doing. Talent-wise, Ryan Harrow was a really good player.
Right.
Mentally, he was not competent enough, and he just did not have the intestinal fortitude, for lack of better description, to be a Kentucky point guard and to play in the spotlight of Kentucky. If you have Marcus Teague in that spot, Marcus Teague starts. He's a more established playmaker in his second year. It gives you a better playmaking point guard to put beside Archie Goodwin, Okay?
Right.
Then you have the experience of Julius Mays coming off the bench with Ryan Harrow. Okay? You're looking at a completely different basketball team. If Ryan Harrow is your backup point guard versus your starting point guard.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
So Marcus Teague's number 2 on my list.
Yeah, I could. Well, I could see flipping them because my number 2, Dakari Johnson.
Okay.
And just like you said, I think that next year playing alongside Lee and stuff, he would have been fantastic. With him being an offensive-minded center.
Yeah, because he couldn't play defense.
And Lee being the defensive powerhouse he was very good.
And he couldn't play offense.
Right, exactly. They would have fit well together.
They were the yin and yang.
I would have loved to send them two together.
Now, I'm interested to hear your number 1 because part of me thinks we might be on the same mind track here, but part of me hopes that it's not because I think I may throw you for a loop. Go ahead.
Okay. My number 1 is Daniel Orton.
Different length. Go ahead.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Now, the reason being is because all the way around, did he have a good NBA career? No. Did he do enough to get drafted? No. And could he have done more on the next year's team? I think so. Yes. Oh, yes. I don't see how
Josh Harrelson done as much or more on that next year's team than what Daniel Orton could have.
I don't know, because you got to think of the experience,
also,
and he didn't get really much playing time at all.
And whenever Daniel Orton was making a decision whether to come or go, you were expected to have Enes Kanter next year.
Well,
and Enes Kanter was a lot better.
That's true. That's true. But see, if he would have stayed, and Kanter didn't get to play,
I've got no issues with Daniel Orton leaving because he was very disrespectful to our coach. Him and Cal left on very sour terms.
Well, I know.
And he was a cancer. He just was. He is the only player under John Calipari since he has been at Kentucky. No, since he's been at Kentucky, who did not finish the spring semester, who did not finish class.
I didn't know that.
I don't care.
I'd say he's probably the only one under Cal too.
I wish the best of luck to Daniel Orton in all his future endeavors in life, but you gave me nothing here. I don't care about your time at Kentucky.
But I just don't see what enticed him to leave.
He is a footnote on a team that's one of my favorite teams of all time.
Right. That was stacked. And yet somehow Daniel Orton goes in the NBA draft.
And you know, that kindly ties into my number 1.
Okay. Who's that?
That team should have been more stacked.
You talking about Meeks?
My number 1 is Jody Meeks.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
My number 1 is Jody Meeks because Jody, whenever he got drafted.
But he did leave as the number 1 player on the team by a long shot.
Well, I'm not going to say that because Patrick Patterson.
Well, Patrick Patterson was there, but Meeks was the dog.
Jody was the best scorer. He wasn't the best player. You have to think Patterson come back and played one more year, went 14th in the draft. Jody went in the mid-second round or early second round. So I 100% believe Patterson was a better player than Jody Meeks. Jody was a better college player because of his scoring ability, his electricity,
his speed.
And he was a good defender as well. Yep. What you add into this is that whenever
national championship with John Wall if he stays.
An undefeated team.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows who our basketball coach is right now because it's not John Calipari. He's long gone because you come in first year at Kentucky, you run the table forward, you win the national title. What more does he have to do? Okay. Now, he goes early to mid-second round in the 2009 NBA draft. He's coming off a year where he was the second leading scorer in the country.
Right.
In the country.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you're not going to improve that stock as far as a superstar aspect.
Right.
But you come back, you play your true position off the ball as a shooting guard.
Yep.
You play beside a good point guard. And you play on a team with just a massive amount of... That team was rock stars.
Yep.
That team was so good, and they were everywhere.
Yep, that was.
You come back, you're the only piece that's missing from that team is a knockdown shooter. You show that you are a knockdown shooter, play that role, play solid defense. Daniel Orton did nothing for that team and was drafted in the first round by association.
Exactly.
Imagine what Jody Meeks could have done for himself.
Yep.
And we run the table. And we win that title.
If Jody Meeks returns, that team's the best team Kentucky's ever had.
If Jody Meeks returns, that's arguably the best team of all time.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you've got 5 first-round picks already on that team as is.
Already, yeah.
Whether or not they're deserving or not,
Yeah,
who knows?
they're not. But
not
all of them.
You
anyway.
add Jody Meeks to that team.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, you've already got DeAndre Liggins who plays in the league.
I love that pick.
You've got DeAndre Liggins who plays in the league on that team. You got Darius Miller who plays in the league on that team.
Yep.
Josh Harrelson who plays in the league on that team.
Oh, I didn't know Harrelson played in the league.
Yeah.
What does he play for?
He played.
I know he used to, but does he still play?
No, he's in China, I think. But he had a stint with the Knicks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I feel like he had a minor stint with the Lakers too, just for some reason.
I don't know, but I knew the Knicks.
So yes, my number 1 pick for players who should have returned to Kentucky.
I like that. I really like that pick. I really like that pick. But like I said, the reason I picked Orton was because I don't understand the choice to leave.
For the reaction that you gave me right there last week, whenever we discussed doing this, you was like, I'm like, I already know I'm doing number 1. Well, who's it is? I'm not going to tell you.
That was nice. I like that. I like that. I don't know why, but I didn't even give a glance at Meeks. I didn't even think about it.
I know.
That's nice.
As we discussed last week in the Florida video.
Yeah, that's
or
good.
whenever you see this, in reference to the Florida video. He's not a true fan. He doesn't watch stuff.
Right.
We've already referenced it. I mean, you're wearing a red shirt, for God's sakes.
You're wearing white.
White's one of our colors.
But is that a Kentucky shirt?
No.
Who's got Kentucky ball shorts on? Kentucky flippers on?
You want to talk Kentucky ball shorts? You want me to take my pants off?
No.
Because I know where Kentucky ball shorts are on it.
What do I got? Oh, I just got black. You can't pull up your... Oh, gosh. Right here, the video's ruined, guys. In this video,
shorts.
Before you do
right
that.
here. Cats.
Why are you wearing shorts under your pants?
That's just something I do. All right. My mother's worst fear.
Very sorry, guys.
My mother's worst fears have been realized. I've taken off my pants on the internet. Shut it down.
Well, anyway, if you guys like that video, make sure to like and subscribe to it. Leave us comments, guys. Let us know what videos you'd like to see or anything you disagree with or agree with or whatever. Like us on Facebook, Bluegrass Sports Show. Barry, anything you want to add? I think our next video may be, if I can talk this guy into doing it, a draft of players that played at Kentucky that did not play in the NBA at all.
God, it'd be so hard.
And I'm trying to decide, do you think we should include D-League in that? If they played in the D-League?
No, because I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure out exactly the terms of it. And I'm thinking we're going to go from the Pitino era to Cal, not any farther back than Pitino.
Those videos had it all.
Yep.
We've laughed. We've cried. We had a sleeping baby. I took my pants off. Shut it down.
I was over here blushing. All right, guys.
He's still blushing. I'm sitting here with my pants down beside him.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.